we're going to look at that first example. So you can see the heading is capital amounts and deferred payments. So the first example has to do with capital amounts, and then, which I'll obviously explain as we get to it. And then deferred payments is the second example. And guys, after these two sections, we actually only have one section left to do. I checked now. So I think we will finish it probably next week, like Monday or something, because then we're actually done with the whole course syllabus. Then we can just focus on AP going forward from there. Okay. Instead of having this one thing that we still need to do sometime. Okay, so, but I'll keep you posted on that. All right, so example one, a loan of 1 million rand is taken from a bank to buy a house. The loan is repaid over 25 years and the interest charged on the loan is 9% per annum compounded monthly. 1.1 is asking us to calculate the monthly repayments. Now we first need to figure out, is this future value or present value? If it's a loan, it is present value, right? Because we are getting 1 million rand immediately. Okay, so like I said yesterday, you don't actually have to write this formula down, but it's nice to practice it while it's still a low stakes situation, right? Not exam time, but we're just practicing the formula. Okay, so I'm just going to put my X on this side because this is what we are solving for. So we have 1 plus the interest rate is 9% compounded monthly to the power of -12, and they said it's for 25 years. So we times that by 25 over the interest rate, which is 9 over 1200. And that is equal to the present value, which is 1 million. Okay, now to save some time, I already have the answer, but you know what you would have to do? You would have to multiply 1 million by 9 over 1200 and then divide that by the whole bracket. Okay, and you solve for X, so therefore X is equal to 8,391 rand and 96 cents. Okay, so that is the monthly repayments on this bond. It's actually quite low, I think. All right, 1.2. Calculate the balance outstanding on the loan after 5 years, immediately after the 60th payment. All right, so this is now where you would be able to choose between those two options. Is it fine with you guys if I use the second method? All right, so balance. If you prefer the first method, you can do that. Your answer will just be slightly different. It doesn't matter. All right, so remember, if we're using the second method, we're going to take the loan and we are going to see what that loan would actually be worth, not worth, or what we would actually need to pay back after. What are they asking us? 5 years, so 60 payments. And then we minus the future value of all the payments that we have already made. Right, if you wanted to use the first method, if they're asking for after 5 years, there are still 20 years left. So your N would be 20 times 12, or your M actually, in that case. Okay, now when we get to our answer, again, I've calculated it already, and this is, just like we saw yesterday, quite upsetting because the loan was 1 million rand, and we have now for 5 years paid 8,000 rand every month. So 60 times we've paid 8,000 rand, but we still actually owe 932,000 rand. All right. Yes, yeah, and that does happen. I did that calculation on my little car and I nearly cried. Paid much more than I thought I was. Yeah, no, it's hectic. Okay. Save. Make sure that you can pay a big deposit in the beginning. Make sure that your credit record is good, because also they look at your like risk profile. and that tells them what kind of interest rate to give you. So because when I bought my car, it was while I was still studying. I already had this job at Westwood, but I hadn't started working yet, and I could only start paying after I got my first paycheck, and I didn't have my license for 5 years, and I had all those things. So the interest rate that they gave me was quite high, where if I'd maybe waited a year, I would have gotten a better deal. Okay, 1.3. How much money has been paid at the end of 5 years? So now they're just literally asking, how much have we actually paid? All right, for 60 months, we paid this amount. So does it make sense that we would say the monthly repayments multiplied by 60? Okay, so I'm just going to write a little thing here. I'm just going to say amount paid. It's useful if we just label our answers so that we actually know what all the values are, because we sometimes need to use them further down. So the amount paid is 8,391 Rand and 96 cents multiplied by 60. And if you calculate that, it's 503,517 Rand and 60 cents. But you still owe 900,000, yes. So guys, why did we pay so much? What have we actually been paying so far? Interest. So 1.4 is then asking, just hold on, how much of the actual capital has been paid off at the end of 5 years? Now, what do you think? How will we figure out how much of the actual capital we've paid off? The loan amount that we took out, the 1 million Rand, it's there, minus what we still owe. That's the actual capital that we've paid off, all right? So the capital amount paid I'm not sure how you would calculate the interest, because I'm going to use this amount to calculate how much interest I've paid. But we can look at that. All right, so the capital amount paid is 67,275 Rand and 31 cents. And what is everything else that we paid? Interest. So look at the money that the banks are making on each house, each thing that gets sold. Yeah, the pros and cons, eh? All right, so 1.5 is now asking how much of the money paid at the end of 5 years was interest. All right, so obviously we're going to take our amount paid and we're going to minus what the capital amount was that we paid, because the difference there will be interest. So that will be 503,517.60 minus 67,275.31, and that is 436,242 Rand and 29 cents. And that's only after 5 years. Hey, this thing is still going to carry on for another 20. So let's just quickly do that calculation. Where's my calculator? I'm curious. Can someone just quickly take the, yeah, but that's not a nice one. I don't know where my actual one. Oh, there. All right, let's quickly do that. 8,391,96 times, what's 25 times 12 again? 300. 2.5 million. So that is actually what is being paid back on a 1 million Rand loan. Okay. Welcome to adulthood. It's not always nice, yes?
So the 932,000 is that like, that's how much you owe, but are you going to end up paying more than that?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is how much you owe after 5 years. But they still, for the next 20 years, going to keep adding interest and then subtracting your payment. Guys, let's just quickly write in a little formula here. We're just going to say loan amount minus balance on loan. Okay, so that's what you would always have to do if they're asking for what is the capital amount paid. And it might not always be broken up into steps like this. Okay, they might just say, question 1.1, what is the monthly payments? Question 1.2, what is the capital amount paid after 5 years? All right, then you must know, okay, I must first find the balance, then I must minus it from this. Okay, so it's useful to have a formula here. The interest amount paid is always your total amount paid minus the capital amount paid. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Are you understanding what we just did? Right? Okay, I feel a bit rebellious. I can't skip assembly. Sorry, it's not, I don't have it in me. Just now we say something different and then we all miss it. Okay, so guys, the next one, deferred payment, which is example 2, and then the final payment on loan, we will do that next week. Okay, so this homework that I've given you is due for, let's say, Monday. All right, so Monday we're doing core, we're finishing core on Monday. I'll give you some questions to practice, obviously, which you will then also just quickly mark. But then we're done with the syllabus. Okay. Right, let's quickly get this assembly going.